Hi everyone. So welcome to the daily reading, and I haven't done a daily reading since I think it was Thursday was the last daily reading I did. It feels like I haven't been on camera forever. So I have a few announcements. If you're a person that skips through the announcements, if you could just not do that this time, just because I want to be able to get this out, and it sort of has to do with what's going on with the energy right now. The first announcement is not the best news. I am going to be postponing the West Coast tour. So I'm going to be postponing California and Oregon until a later date. I'm hoping to be able to do it later this year. If not later this year, then it will definitely be in the spring of next year. I've just realized I had an amazing time in Chicago. It was so fantastic. But I realized that the traveling was really, really hard on me. Not only spiritually and it was more like of a physical thing. It wasn't just an energetic hardness. Usually like last year when I was doing the traveling and stuff, it was different. And I'm not sure, the biggest difference for me, I think, is that I really have to pay attention to my human vessel right now. This whole year, 2019, one of my lessons is in taking better care of myself. And this trip, it like highlighted that in big, bright lettering. I had an amazing time. I met some amazing people. I got some amazing gifts from people. Thank you so much for the hospitality, the love, the support. It was wonderful. And it's like when I decided, and I made the announcement on my community tab yesterday, so you can go over there and look at it there as well yesterday. But when I decided yesterday to do that, it was not an easy decision to make. And what kind of brought me to making that decision was if it were a loved one, a family member, or something like that, I wouldn't have thought twice to postpone it. If a family member needed some extra time with me, if a family member needed me to be there for them, I would not, or like a loved one, a friend, whatever, I wouldn't even think twice. So why would I think twice about it when it comes to me and my own body and my own space? So it was a very hard decision for me to make. Again, it's just postponement. I'm not canceling it. And I'm sorry to those who are disappointed by this news. However, the good news is now I have openings for readings. And it's 20% off the 1 hour reading, the 30-minute reading, and the self-alignment. And it's really interesting because me making the decision to not travel this month or right now is practicing what I preach, practicing what I teach, practicing what I preach, and making sure that I'm in alignment with myself because this means not only in alignment spiritually and mentally and emotionally, but also physically. And I'm not going to go into details about like what's going on physically with me, but just know that it was not an easy decision to make. So if you would like to get a reading with me, I do have openings next week, which doesn't happen very often. It's pretty quick. I think I have openings on Wednesdays and Friday. Tuesday as well. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do have openings. And then for the rest of August, and that 20% off is to celebrate. August is my birthday month. It's not till the end of the month, but we're going to celebrate all month by me offering 20% off of those services. And I am looking into doing a webinar. Also, since I'm not traveling to do the self-alignment course, I do want to still offer it. So stay tuned for that information. So the reason why this is really all kind of in alignment with the energy that's going on is right now we have the sun trining Jupiter. Jupiter is going direct on the 11th of August. And we also have the sun conjunct Venus. Right now, it's still like a couple of degrees away, but Venus is going to be traveling over the sun here in the next couple of days. And so we really have a lot of opportunities and a lot of options in our life right now. That's what this means. This means that this is a big time of growth. And if you're feeling like, I just want to go, 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 go and get things done, but there's kind of this underlying, I don't want to call it, it's not like a painful or anything like that. It's more of a cautiousness, right? So there's kind of this underlying cautious nature that's happening with the collective right now. And I feel like it's because we just got out of Mercury retrograde. Mercury is still in the shadow period, but we're used to all of these planets being in retrograde. We're used to this slowdown process. And now things are starting to ramp up. Jupiter is going to go direct. However, Uranus is stationing right now for it to go retrograde in Taurus the day after Jupiter goes direct. So there's like this push-pull nature of, Uranus is the planet of expansion and the planet of innovation and starting new things and really shaking things up in order to wipe out what we don't need so we can bring in what we do need. And Jupiter has been helping with that as well. And I feel like a lot of us are starting to see the things in our lives where we weren't paying attention to it. We were totally, completely ignoring it. And now we're getting an opportunity with a fresher view. And that might be why you still kind of feel like you're on pause right now. You're kind of getting a fresher view of the direction that you need to be going and how to get there. It may not be that you can get there quite yet. You're still being asked to, you're being groomed, basically, with all of this. And the truth of the matter, really, like with Venus because the sun is the planet, we have the sun in Leo, Jupiter in Sagittarius, Saturn in Capricorn, Neptune in Pisces. These planets, or the sun is a star, but these all rule the signs that they're in right now. So there's a lot of home business that's going on. And in order for us to feel like we are on steady ground and feel like we are progressing in the direction that we need to go in, we have to check in with ourselves on a daily basis. And this is one of the things that I teach in my self-alignment course, is to check. And that's how I made the decision, because I checked in with myself. And I teach people how to do that, how to check in with yourself. And it's basically talking to your higher self and having a conversation with your higher self. But I teach people how to do that in the self-alignment courses. And I checked in with myself after this trip. And it was a very emotional thing for me to do, because I had to be honest. And I have to live in integrity and stand for myself in the same way that I would stand for anybody that I love, stand up for anybody that I loved, or be there for anybody that I loved. So that's where the segue, it was very interesting, because I didn't even realize what I was doing until I looked at the transits and the planets and the charts right now. And I looked at all of it and I was like, oh wow, I actually did all of that yesterday. And right now, we are being taught how to love in the truest way and the most dignified way. That's what the sun in Leo and Venus in Leo are going to be teaching us this week. We also have the Lionsgate, the 8/8 portal Lionsgate. I'm going to do probably a special reading for that. But let's go ahead and see what the cards have to say. It's a very interesting time. We also have a solar storm going on. If you don't follow Alex Miles on Instagram, Myles, I believe that's how you spell her last name. If you don't follow her on Instagram, I kind of want you to, because she always updates us with, yeah, MYLES, Alex.Miles. She updates us when we have solar storms happening, all of the big transits. I really love her. It's so cute because people send it to me all the time, and I appreciate it. It doesn't bother me. But I do follow her, so you don't have to take that extra energy and extra time to send me the post that she put up, because I already saw it. But we are doing a solar storm right now, and if you want to know what that means, go over to Alex Miles Instagram, alex.miles, MYLES. It's basically just like, it's like an electromagnetic shift. In layman's terms, electromagnetic shift. If you want to get into more details, again, go over to Instagram and see. Okay, because I know a lot of people are like, what the hell does that mean? I'm not an expert on it. That's why I'm not going to try to be an expert on it and pretend that I'm an expert on it and tell you guys what it is and what's happening. So you guys know. Okay, so awesome. I love the first card that came out. This is all about movement forward. And it's so funny because that Hanged Man just really wants to make himself known, always wants to make himself known, like when we're in the process of feeling really, really good about where we're going and what we're doing. And then all of a sudden the Hanged Man shows up and he's like, I know that you're really excited and everything wants to happen right now, but we're still kind of, but in the middle of all of it, you need to realize that you still have to pause every once in a while and allow yourself to reassess, check in with yourself, right? So we have the Six of Wands. In fact, the Hanged Man should be my check in with yourself card. The Six of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. There is a lot of success coming, and it's not, you worked really, really hard for this success. And I want you to celebrate the successes. I want you to celebrate all of the things that you have done that led you to where you are today. And because right now you could easily fall back into a mindset of, well, I'm shifting right now. Things are, and when things shift, it's like you have to remove yourself from the idea that you are, I don't like to use the word failing at something, because I don't feel like anybody's a failure. I feel like we learn the lesson and we move on. I don't feel like it's a failure aspect. But you could really, really feel like some of the things that you're doing or some of the decisions that you've made were not the right ones. And so you have to keep reminding yourself and checking in with yourself and saying, I have worked really hard, and everything I've done up until now and where you've come from and where you're going is for a purpose and a reason. And this pause is just for you to look at things differently. You know, we talk about the Hanged Man all the time. He puts himself there upside down on purpose to get a different perspective. He's enlightened when he's upside down. He's just getting a different perspective. So you have to see things that way. When you feel like nothing is moving in the direction that you really want them to move, you have to remind yourself that sometimes it's not always, everything is not always as it seems. Because you have done the work and you're continuing to do the work, right? Yes, and the Three of Pentacles. And sometimes you work really, really hard to get somewhere, and then you have to shift and start all over again, right? The Three of Pentacles is about starting from the ground up. It's about entrepreneurship. It's about working really well with other people. Even in the face of trials and tribulations, the Knight of Swords, even in the face of, like, you're not always going to make everybody happy, right? And you can't live your life hoping to impress other people or hoping to make other people happy so they look at you and they're like, you know, stand in your dignity, stand in your faith in the Star, Stand with yourself, balanced. Oh, I'm using the Fate Shifters Tarot. I got it from a client, but you can find it on Etsy. It's very, very rare. They only have like 30. Last time I checked, they only had like 30 decks. But if you're wondering what cards I'm using, it's the Fate Shifters Tarot. But we have the Knight of Swords and the Star. And this is what I'm saying, like even in the face of adversity, you're still moving in the direction that you're supposed to be going. But sometimes it's scary because you have to like switch things up and start all over again, or go a different direction, or go a different course, right? And it's not always the easiest thing to do, because then you'll look back and you'll be like, well, what does so-and-so think about me? Or what is the adversity. Knight of Swords. You're afraid that you'll get that backlash if you decide to do something different. Remember, okay, so we have the Three of Cups and the Five of Wands on the Six of Wands. There could be some arguments with people today or in the next couple of days, and that just might be, it's almost, I feel like you're defending your position. I feel like this is a defense, right? You're sort of defending your place. You're defending your position, which sounds kind of familiar to me. I don't normally resonate with these readings, but I am resonating with this one. But I feel like there's this defense, right? And with the Three of Cups, I want you to remember the celebrations come with those who know and understand you on a soul level. It's not superficial. It's not something that, it's not something, you don't have to explain yourself to the people that already understand you, right? So you don't actually have to defend yourself as much as you probably think you do. I love my new huge, gigantic coffee mug. It says, "Good morning, Chicago." And I got it from one of my people that I met, lovely Sagittarius gentleman, while I was there this weekend. It was so sweet. He actually gave me a whole bunch of stuff. It was very nice. And I got some beautiful crystals from another client while I was there. It was a wonderful experience, and I can't wait to go back to Chicago. So let's see what the Eight of Pentacles is, because I feel like this is telling you to just keep working, just keep doing what it is that you do, and you'll be okay. You know, the Nine of Pentacles on the Eight of Pentacles. You don't have to do it alone. Sometimes it feels like you might be doing it alone, but you don't have to do it alone. And right now it might feel like if you are kind of arguing with other people, I do feel like, or you're kind of like, there are petty arguments back and forth, even with the people that you love. You know, we have arguments with people that we love, whether we like it or not. However, the Nine of Pentacles on the Eight of Pentacles is saying to just don't skip the steps. Just keep moving forward. Don't skip the steps, and allow yourself to see things in a different way, because it probably isn't as bad as you think it is. Let's see what this Hanged Man. Whoa. Wow, that thing like flew across the room. Hold on one second. I gotta go pick it up. Okay, sorry about that. So it was the sun on the Hanged Man that flew, like it literally flew all the way across the room. Wanted to be known. And there is going to be clarity and healing within this pause, within this, and you know, it's so funny because everybody's like, why do I have to pause? It's not an actual real, like, you don't have to stop doing what you're doing. That's what these cards are saying. You don't have to stop moving forward and doing what you're doing and feeling better about yourself and doing this and doing that and taking the much needed steps forward that you have to. Don't stop doing that. The pause is probably allowing yourself to take a step back and look at the bigger picture and see where everything has its place and allowing for everything to have its place, you know? Meaning sometimes we get so lost in all of the big things that we're doing that we forget to look at the details. And the Eight of Pentacles is all about the details. It's the Sun in Virgo. And the Hanged Man is all about looking at things in a different perspective, which means we need to really pay attention to the details right now, because within the details is where the clarity is. And that's what I'm sorry, it's not the Sun, it's the Strength card, which is also Leo. Sorry. But this is where we're finding our strength. This is where we're finding our healing and our clarity, and that inner strength is within the pause, within the details. And it doesn't mean that you're stopping what you're doing. You're not stopping the action of moving forward. What you're seeing here is having to defend yourself on maybe switching things up and taking a different direction, taking a detour, if you will. So let's see what the Three of Pentacles is representing. Yeah. I do feel like there are going to be some new conversations on how to, I don't even want to say rebuild things. It's just more of a building phase, right? So the Page of Swords is about being honest with yourself and being honest with other people and being open about having that conversation, having that very, very honest conversation, and not allowing yourself to, you know, when you like even tell yourself a little white lie, like for example, if I eat this chocolate bar, it's really not going to hurt me that much. But then you eat that chocolate bar and then you're craving chocolate for days. And then you eat another one and then you eat another one. And it's kind of like that rolling, you know, be honest with yourself, check in with yourself, and make sure you're being super honest with where you are and what you want to do and where you're going from here. Okay. So we have the Knight of Swords, Page of Cups on the Knight of Swords. And sometimes when we get angry, it comes from a place of lack, right? That Page of Cups is like, I feel like we're dealing with a lot of really young energy and people that just don't, it's like they get upset and they get angry because they haven't been through that trial and that trial and error quite yet, right? The tribulations. And so it's almost as if you feel like you have to defend yourself and be like, well, this is why I have to do this. And the other person just doesn't understand, right? Because they've never been through it. They don't get it. They're still learning how to emotionally, and they're also realizing that it's not personal and to not take it personal. Because sometimes when you have to do things in your life and you have to take a detour, if you will, or switch things up a little bit or start from the very beginning, some people in your life will take it personal, like it's their journey and not yours. So you have to remember that you're not always going to be dealing with people that understand why you have to change things in your life, or why you have to look at things in a different perspective, or why you have to look at the details in such an intricate way in order for you to go in a direction, a specific direction. But when it comes down to it, all you're doing is following your light, following your star, following your path, right? So let's see what the star is. And it's a very personal journey that's happening with everybody right now. And so we really have to remember the love of it, which is very, I love this, that the Lovers is at the bottom of the deck. So it is a very personal coming into alignment, which is what the Lovers card represents, coming into alignment with yourself. But we have the Queen of Pentacles on the star. The Queen of Pentacles is somebody that she can manifest things very, very easily. And that's all she's trying to do. So if you are in a position right now where you're just trying to manifest shit into your life, manifest stuff into your life, and follow your path and follow your star, you cannot worry about how other people are going to perceive you. And you don't have to explain yourself into the ground, right? You don't have to over explain things. And it might feel like you do, and the only reason why it's going to feel like you do is you do have to explain some things right now, is because your ego is saying, this person is upset, I have to explain why I'm doing a particular thing because this person is upset. But that's simply not true. You don't have to explain your position just because somebody else is upset by it. Okay? And again, we are manifesting really, really great new beginnings in our life, even through the confusion, even with all of the options and all of the confusion. The Nine of Cups, the Lovers, and the Empress. There's a lot of fresh new energy that's just starting to get ramped up again. Yes, we're still having a lot of retrogrades right now, but there's a lot of fresh energy that's starting to get ramped up again. And I think that a lot of people are also really, really scared of the pressure of it, because we were kind of in a slowdown mode there for a minute, about a month, right? And now that things are starting to push forward a little more, it can be overwhelming. So just make sure that you are checking in with yourself. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Give yourself a lot of love. Please make sure you're taking care of yourself. And I understand the want to please people and to be there for other people, but make sure you're being there for yourself as well. Okay? Necklaces. I have 4 necklaces on my website right now. This week, we are going to be restocking some. So there will be probably like 10 by the end of this week. I'll keep everybody updated. But if you would like to have a necklace that has a stone in it, it's also Reiki infused. It's sterling silver, handmade spiral sterling silver necklace. So amazing. It holds a lot of power. This one is black tourmaline, but I have citrine and rose quartz and pyrite and aquamarine, like all sorts of them on my website. So go check that out. The information is on my website, fearlessintuition.net. 20% off readings for the month of August. Make sure you get your spot. I have a feeling that since I'm not traveling now, the spots are going to fill up really, really fast. But we're going to do some fun things for August just because it is my birthday month and I like to celebrate my birthday all month long because I can. And I need, it's a time for celebration and a time for taking care of yourself, and celebrations are all about taking care of yourself too. So I love you guys. Have a wonderful day and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.